time. This, and this are just lens flares on my window. This right there is a planet. It's a dark planet right there. And it could very well be the dragon heading this way. Like it's still like millions of miles away. It's like 23 hours away, and it's heading towards us at tens of thousands of miles per hour. We're maybe heading towards it at tens of thousands of miles per hour. And, just over the course of the day, it'll travel millions of miles to get here. But watch this. I just went up to 8 times faster. And that stays in the sky right there. And it's shining through those chemtrails. Okay, now at 6:04, and that's actually 7:04, it turns dark. And the thin clouds are going in front of it, but you can still see. So you can still see the circular shape of it behind the clouds. I have never ever seen that before. It's not the moon. I'll show you. We did have a full moon, and it had already gone across the upper right hand of the screen the previous night of the 15th. Okay, so here's what the moon looks like. This was actually 10:30 on April 15th. There's that full moon. This is the full moon. This is just a lens flare off of the window. This is a full moon right here. And I watched it, and it tracks. It's going this way. So what I showed you earlier is not the moon. Look how the clouds are around it. Anyway, that's in the sky, and I've never seen that before. And I think that is either the dragon approaching, or the dark star wormwood approaching, or a dark planet or something. I would guess it to be the dragon approaching. And it's just going to cover, millions of miles throughout the day to get here at 5:55 in the morning on April 17th. And I'm guessing that to be Eastern time. Just keep watching throughout the day. Even on over, like if it doesn't happen yet, the rapture, keep watching throughout the time zones, all the way over to Pacific time, and until verse 17, is no longer. Look at the clouds in front of it. It's this going 16 times faster than original speed now. It's just staying right there. And it stayed right there in the sky until a little bit after 7 o'clock. That's definitely an object right there in the sky. And then after 7 o'clock, it just gets covered up by these dark clouds, get too thick for it. I can't see it anymore. See how that stays.
I hear your SOS, your SOS. I will send out an army to find you in the middle of the darkest night. It's true, I will rescue you. no distance. It cannot be covered over and over. Me and my family were at a resort. I couldn't find one that was like it, but it was a nice resort. There weren't any palm trees. I want to say it was more like a local resort. We go to a place called Harrison Hot Springs. I want to say it was similar to that. And all of a sudden, the sky turned orange, and these clouds started rolling in, and you could see all the staff and the director was there, and they're all saying, "Oh, everything's fine. No need to panic. Nothing to see here. This is just a little storm. It'll pass, and everything will be fine." I'm like, no, orange sky, those big clouds, they look pretty deadly. Let's, everyone get inside. I tell my wife, my kids, get inside, stay inside, and don't look out. Cover the windows, get inside. So I start, and then people start panicking. I know, everyone's like running. Oh no, what do we do? I'm like, just get inside, don't look out, stay inside, don't look out, stay inside, just telling everybody. And everyone's panicking because you could tell it was just something out of the ordinary that was about to happen. So then I'm like, oh gee, my car, I gotta save my car. This is just in the dream. I'll get to the significance of my car in a second. So I'm like, okay, I gotta put my car in a safe spot. I don't want it to get damaged in this storm. So I'm driving. I'm trying to drive my car, but not being stuck in the mud. I couldn't find the proper picture, but the ground started breaking away from the back end. It started crumbling away. You could see, everything's starting to fall apart. And like, I got to get out of here before I get swallowed up in this sinkhole. So then I hear in my head, use your adrenaline. Oh, okay, I'll use my adrenaline, yes. So, when you have a lot of adrenaline, you got just incredible strength and you're fearless. So I'm like, okay. I pick up my car with one hand. I couldn't find a picture of the Hulk with him carrying a car in one hand, but I actually had it in one hand. And I'm like, I gotta get my car to a safe place. So there was a building nearby. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna put it, because the storm was coming from the left-hand side. So I'm gonna put my car in the far back corner, and this way it'll be protected by other cars and in the building, and my car will be okay. So I put my car in the corner, and I'm telling people, no, don't look outside, don't look outside. And people were, and then the dream ended. So that was my dream. So
share with the brothers and sisters what the Lord has shown you. She said, "Mommy, share it, please share it." So I'm here. She told me that the Lord put her into the hospital, and she saw the 3 days of darkness descend, and she saw it from the view of what's going to happen in the hospitals, brothers and sisters. I want to say that if your children are in the room, you may not want them to be in the room, because this isn't, this can be a little disturbing, what I'm going to say. But she said, "Mommy, I was in the hospitals and I saw the patients." She said, "I saw the multiple patients." And she said, "I saw each of them. I could see into all of their rooms." And she saw, "I saw all the patients begin to demand more medicine. They were all demanding medicine as though they were in pain. Something was coming over them to where they were all in pain, and they were begging the hospital staff. All of them were pushing their call bells, the alarm to notify the nurse. They were all wanting the nurses and the hospital personnel to come in and to up their dosage. Something was happening within them." And she said all the patients became restless. And she said the nurses began going to and fro, and they were all disturbed, wondering what's happening with our patients. And she said eventually she began to see the patients. Brothers and sisters, she said she began to see the patients transform. She began to see blood come out of also, she said she also remembered, and I'm trying to remember how she related to me without adding to or taking away. So if I pause, just give me a moment. She also remembered, and this is Sister Christiana. Say hi, Christiana. Okay, now let me finish, okay? She said she also remembered as the patients were transforming. She said they were still but she knew. Actually, she took off running through the hospital because she saw that this hospital was being overtaken by the fallen ones. The patients and the doctors, they were sitting ducks in this place. There was no coverings over the windows. My daughter said she eventually made it down the hallway and she entered into another doctor's room. And she said she took a chair because she wanted to break out of this hospital to get out of here. And she said she began trying to break open the window. And she said one of the physicians there tried to stop her. But then he began to realize what was happening. So he too started throwing stuff at her. He began throwing stuff to her so that she will successfully break the window open. He was encouraging her to break the windows open. So she said, Mommy, it took about 5 attempts. And she said, when I broke the window open, Mommy, she said I was permitted to look outside. She said, Mommy, I saw things. I said, what things did you see, baby? She said, Mommy, I saw them eating people. I saw them eating people in the streets. She said, Mommy, I looked up and I saw a planet, a big red planet. And she said, Mommy, it hadn't even fully covered the sun yet. She said they had already ascended. She said, Mommy, the Lord showed me something in particular. She said, it does not matter how high you climb up a building, what tall of a building you get up to try to escape from these things. She said, if you are caught outside when this planet eclipses the sun, begins to eclipse the sun, she said, if you're caught outside of this, you are dead. She said there was no coming back from this. She said she saw it. She said, Mommy, I saw it. She said, I saw them eating people. I saw them possessing people. I saw bodies everywhere, Mommy. She said, I saw people perishing everywhere. And she was disturbed. She was crying, brothers and sisters, because this was her first time seeing something this vivid. So then she said the Lord permitted her to walk down the streets while this was happening. And she said there were bodies everywhere, laying everywhere. These wicked falling angels, these demonic beings were possessing and killing and slaughtering everything that was left outside. And so my daughter said all of a sudden the Lord permitted her to see. The Lord took her and she was able to see what was happening from the viewpoint of my house. She did tell me that she didn't recognize this house, but she said it was made known that it was my house. So she said, Mommy, we was now at your property. And she said, Mommy, I saw these things lined up. They were lined up all around your property, Mama. She said they were lined up, eager to come and get you. They were eager to get you. And she said, Mommy, the Lord showed me that they had no license and no authority to even step one foot onto your property. And she said, Mommy, I walked out of that house and I walked up to one of these beings and I stood in front of it, and she said I yelled, Yeshua! Yeshua!
In on the 3 days of darkness, I had no idea how thrilled everybody was going to be with it. I know they are thrilled.
Catholics to be true, including Padre Pio. The prophecy foretells 3 days and nights of an intense darkness over the whole earth, against which the only light will come from blessed beeswax candles, and during which all the enemies of the church will perish. Blessed Anna Maria Taigi was a wife, mother, and mystic, and led an exemplary Christian life that gained her the reputation as one of the greatest saints of all time. She is also the mystic most credited for the Catholic prophecy of 3 days of darkness. She experienced frequent ecstasies, performed miraculous cures, read hearts, foretold deaths, and predicted the coming of future events. Father Goring has spoken of the great mystic, saying, "Blessed Anna Maria Taigi had a remarkable gift of prophecy. She is almost unparalleled among the saints in her phenomenal gift of prophecy. She prophesied the 3 days of darkness." Father Goring says there are biblical references about the event. One will be in the form of wars, revolutions, and other evils. It shall originate on earth. The other will be sent from heaven. There shall come over the whole earth an intense darkness lasting 3 days and 3 nights. Nothing can be seen, and the air will be laden with pestilence, which will claim mainly, but not only, the enemies of religion. It will be impossible to use any man-made lighting during this darkness, except blessed candles. He, who out of curiosity, opens his window to look out, or leaves his home, will fall dead on the spot. During these 3 days, people should remain in their homes, pray the rosary and beg God for mercy.
Do not pray to Mr. J or Mr. L any names for no mercy. They the ones coming to eat you. Do not deal with the rosaries. It's symbolic. You don't want to get eaten, dear.
Church, whether known or unknown, will perish over the whole earth during that universal darkness, with the exception of the few whom God will soon convert. The Holy Father shall be obliged to leave Rome. Padre Pio under all sorts of hideous forms. The Holy Father shall be obliged to leave Rome. All sorts of hideous forms. The Holy Father shall be obliged to leave Rome. Light a blessed candle, which will suffice for many days. Pray the rosary. Read spiritual books. Make a fire shall make people tremble with fear. Have courage. I am in the midst of you.
Not just electronic, I just think it's anything that's involving electricity. But the first dream, it was I was in the school, I was pregnant, and I was really big. Like, I probably could have given birth that month. I wasn't too far off, but I know I was pregnant in this dream. And I was walking down the aisle of where my students, like one side of the desk was, and I fell, not on my stomach. For some reason, I fell on my legs. I don't know how that happened, but I got back up, and I tried to squeeze between this desk and this other student's desk. For some reason, I don't know why the student desk was so close to mine, but I was trying to squeeze through for some reason, and the disc hit my stomach, and I picked up this book on my desk. I turned around and picked up a book on my desk. This book was purple and white. In real life, I have a purple and white Bible, and but in my dream, it was a purple and white book that looked just like my Bible, and it had like little roses on my Bible. And when I opened it, it said 3 days of darkness. And I said, huh? And then the dream switched. Well, it didn't switch, it changed. And so the second dream, in my second dream, I was with my dad, and we pulled up at this gas station. Now, it was like dark and cloudy. It's kind of hard to say, like, how do you know it's cloudy if it's dark? Because clouds were out, but it was just dark. And when we pulled up at this gas station, the gas station reminds you of like we were somewhere like in a country, and you know, notice the old gas station to your left or to your right, but this gas station was to our right. It was really old. It was like only two gas pumps. Well, it was like, two gas pumps on each side. So when we got out the car, the owner of the store came out and said, cover your nose because it's a dead body over there and we're waiting for the police to come. Now, I knew for some reason, I don't know how, but I knew when I was walking by that their body's been there for a very, very long time, and they've been waiting like for weeks for the police to come, but there were no one. There was no one. And for some reason in this dream, I could really smell. I haven't did that before in my dreams, but this particular dream, I actually could smell, like, for real. And I remember covering my nose. I was like, ugh, because the smell was very horrible. It was very horrible. Even though the body was in the car at the gas station, the gas pump, the smell was so loud that, it was close to the gas station itself, and we got the door, and so we came inside the store. The store was a very small store. Matter of fact, it only had it had one stand. It was kind of long, like it really wasn't that long, but it's only a walkway, like on one side and the other side. That's it. You can only pick from the left side, and then you walk over, and you can pick from the other side. So it was a lady and her son, and it was me and my dad, and we all was picking something to get something to eat. And in this store, there were no lights. It was lamps, like. It's kind of hard to explain, but there was no lights. But I don't know how the lamps were on. I don't know if it was like, I don't know how the lamps were on, but it was like 2 lamps. And the man told us, he was like, we cannot accept card. He was like, we can only accept cash. And I remember I said, like, this card, I tried to put my card in. For some reason, the machine, like, ate up my card. I don't even know why I even put my card in there if he just told me. But I'm just letting you know, I'm just being honest in this dream. And so he was like, we only are taking cash. The machines and everything is down. And so my dad was like, well, I'm glad I have the cash. So my dad paid for us something to eat because we were really hungry. And in the store, they didn't have a lot of food. But, I think from in this dream, a lot of people didn't even know about this store. And the people that were there, the owner that was there, I could tell that he didn't get out or anything. He just stayed at the store. Like, he probably had like a bed back there. So he didn't go nowhere. And I woke up, and so that was my dream. So
This is what I can remember. I was inside of a house. I do not know what house it was. I don't recognize it, but it was my house in this dream. I was with my little one. I was staring at the clouds through the window. The clouds became very dark. They became very dark. Very dark. Very dark clouds. My little one, because he was in the window, like looking at the window, he had a flashlight in this dream, he had a flashlight, and I thought that was weird. I'm like, why does he have a flashlight? And he was pointing to the sky. And as he was pointing to the sky with the flashlight, I was very surprised to see that the light of the flashlight, you can actually see it in the clouds in my dreams. Like, you can actually really look at the clouds with it. Something inside of me felt like look at the clouds. Look at what's behind the clouds. Like, watch it. Just watch. And so I grab the flashlight and I start doing the same thing. And all of a sudden, I say, what is that? And I look and I see what looks to be a round object behind the clouds, behind these dark clouds. There was a round object. Mind you,